Given all its financial challenges, what sort of investor interest is Portugal seeing? It is Portugal Investor Day at the NYSE Euronext in Manhattan. Joining me now is the CEO of IGCP, that's Portugal's Treasury and Debt Management Agency, João Moreira Rato. Very good to talk to you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
When will Portugal be fully back in the debt market?
You saw that we've done just this big transaction, so this exchange. And this exchange is a very good transaction for us because it buys us time. So we have time.
This is the debt swap.
Exactly, the debt swap. And it will gain us time to develop our strategy. So we are not in a rush. We could be back in the markets very soon, but we want to be back in the markets in a sustained fashion. We don't want to just do a one-off transaction. So we intend to not to rush, but to develop gradually, step by step, our plan.
When you say very soon, would that be for a debt swap similar to what you've done?
If the market gives us the opportunity to do more debt swaps so that we can optimize our redemption profile, we'll do them.
And what will be the determining factor for you as to when to go back to the market?
We'll have to have good liquidity in the secondary markets. We'll have to have solid liquidity in the secondary markets, and we would need to have a strong investor base so that we could do more than one transaction.
How much of a concern is it that the ECB presently is not going to be a backstop for Portuguese bonds?
We developed our strategy independently of the ECB, and the debt swap was already planned before we knew anything about the OMT. So we'll continue to work independently of what the ECB will decide in terms of the OMT and Portugal specifically.
But do you see any time that the ECB will indeed be buying Portuguese bond, or any particular condition?
At this point, you know, everything that is, all the public information that is out there tells you that they are still planning exactly how the OMT is going to work out. So we don't know. We develop our strategy independently of that.
And what are you hearing from investors in terms of liquidity in the secondary markets? What are you finding since this debt swap?
So we have been one important thing is that we have been very much on the road. So we have been road showing a lot, and what we have heard of the investors is very good things. So the investors are very keen to get back into our markets. Of course, there are still some rating issues surrounding European investors. But we are working very closely with the rating agencies to give them all the information they need.
Tell me a little bit, yields have obviously fallen in terms of Portuguese debt. Why would an investor buy Portuguese debt over debt of some other EU nation? What is your selling point right now?
Because Portugal is doing, like my colleague just said, Carlos just said, Portugal is doing its work, its homework, and it's adjusting very, very quickly. And if you look for growth already, you can see export numbers that are going very well and are doing very well. So you have already the seeds of growth happening in Portugal. So you have a very quick adjustment in the external account and in the fiscal accounts, and at the same time you have exports growing very much, even without within the euro area. So I think these are very good news for Portugal.
But what happens if the government misses its deficit targets in the budget, which is very severe, and there are some economists raising concerns about it?
I think the important thing is to focus on the expenditure. I think the expenditure has been cut very, very, very much, and I think you should focus mostly on the expenditure side.
Tell me, who is interested right now in investing in Portugal? You're here in New York. Who's interested in buying the bonds? Is it US-based investors, European, hedge funds? What's your knowledge?
So for us, it's very important to start to improve the relationship and deepen the relationship with the US investors. We have already some relationships, very strong relationship with the US investors. We want the US investors to be comfortable with our story. I think the US investors are very important. Of course, the European investors are classic investors, and we have been in Germany and France to explain what's going on in Portugal, and it's very important for them to understand because they have traditionally been our investor base, but we want to enlarge that base and include the American investors.
Are some investors hesitant because there is no ECB backstop?
No, I don't think so. No, I haven't felt that. Of course, the investors ask about the OMT. Every investor asks about the OMT, but I don't think it's. I don't think Portugal is an OMT play. I think it's really the fact that Portugal is doing its job in terms of adjustment, and the exports are behaving very well, and the European situation is getting better. So.
And one final question. Would you like to do another debt swap before the end of the year?
Depends. It will always depend on the market conditions. So we'll be monitoring the market every day, and if the market conditions are there for us, well, maybe we'll do other transactions. Maybe not a debt swap, any other kind of transaction. Depend on the market conditions, really.
Including new debt?
Again, new debt will depend on if we are at the right stage to do it.
All right, João Moreira, Rato, very good to talk to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Schaffler. This is Reuters.
Pardon.